When people describe Anna, who knew her, they speak about her presence, how, she put everything into her work. You really feel the intensity of her love for her work, how much she was interested in art and in her own art, and how passionate she was about it. We've chosen to show these works of Mendieta, which are roughly from 81 to 85, in order to show the works that she did at the end of her life. This film, it is the last of the film works that Mendieta made. Mendieta was a Cuban artist, Cuban American. She came to the United States in her early adolescence. Much of her work had this sense of being drawn from her homeland against her will and trying to adjust, but she always remained very close to her Cuban identity. This piece is called Oshun. Oshun is the male goddess of the sea, and it is pointing towards Cuba. And she chose Key Biscayne, which is one of the points in the United States closest to Cuba, to orient this piece and make it. And the water is going towards Cuba and then also returning. Mendieta was very interested in the transformative power of materials, and specifically in gunpowder. It has a spiritual reference in Santeria, it purifies the area, and also it literally changes from one element to another. So she used gunpowder to make this drawing. You can see that Mendieta has abstracted the form of a leaf or three leaves into a woman's body, making the metaphor of a tree of life, which was one of her earlier series of photography. The small sculpture in the case and the larger sculpture are made out of orchid root. They're slightly earlier, they're from 1982. They were done for an outdoor show of Mendieta's work, and she called it Fern Woman. And she made a number of sculptural experiments at that time when she was exploring, I suppose, how she would formalize her ideas about sculpture. Mendieta told a story about why she was interested in earth. And she said that in African countries, when a woman is married, she has to live with her husband's family. And she takes earth from her home. And every day in her new home, she eats a little of the earth from where she grew up. And I see these sculptures as Mendieta's trying to eat or imbibe the land of her homeland in order to situate herself in a new place. She went to Cuba for the first time, I think, in January 1980, to see her grandparents, to reconnect, to see her cousins. She made a group of works in Cuba in the Jaruco Park, which were large goddesses in limestone cliffs. I personally believe that helped her move to a point where she could now make objects, because she had made objects in her homeland.